Now, us here at Heartland News want to let everyone know that the following is graphic in nature and could be considered disturbing to some.
Our super special guest today, Mr. Russ McKamey, the man, the myth, the legend behind McKamey Manor.
Voted as the world's scariest haunted house by a New York Daily News article.
I would like you to escort me to McKamey Manor in San Diego. It's in San Diego! How can it be bad?
Welcome to McKamey Manor, arguably the world's scariest haunted house.
Now I'm seeing after pictures of people coming out of this place completely battered and bruised, hurt, and psychologically fucked in the head. Like, they are no longer the person that they were, and people have even said those words on the page, like, I will never be the same person because of what McKamey Manor did to me.
Because of the videos that were released showing participants in very unsafe conditions. Participants of this place came out of this place with bumps and bruises, and black eyes.
We can only show you a glimpse inside. Much of the video shared with us was not suitable for television.
It's literally a place where people will kill you.
Escape rooms, they're popping up all across the country and here in Southern California.
An escape room is sort of like a video game, but it's you and it's real life.
Taking the escape room trend to the extreme is McKamey Manor in San Diego. You actually have to pass a physical and mental screening before you're able to get in.
You are abusing people, violating their human rights, and you are creating a health and safety violation of the highest order.
And people don't know what they're getting into, in every single video, even the ones you can't find on YouTube, like the ones that you can only find in a group, people's exit videos, every single video, people say, you don't know what you're getting into, they don't show you what really happens to you, like, there's just no way to prepare for it.
Folks, this is billed as the scariest haunted house in the entire world, and it's right here, I believe, in Lakeside. Russ McKamey is here today to talk about his little project, McKamey Manor. Russ, you sick, twisted freak, good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
He basically is experimenting on people, and people are surrendering to him in a very Stockholm Syndrome-y way. I mean, you know, the Stockholm Syndrome is when a host is kept captive and they just involuntarily are so surrendering to their to the guy who held them captive, or to the person who held them captive, and they do everything that this person is asking them to do.
We have new developments tonight about this haunted house in the North County that many believe is the most terrifying in the entire country. We first told you about this haunted house last Friday at 11 o'clock.
I see them, like, putting your head in fucking vices and shit. They're putting shit in people's mouth. Like, that's where the shit goes too far, man. You ain't putting shit in my mouth in the dark.
He handpicks the guests himself, and they have to meet a long list of requirements, including their signatures on a 10-page waiver before they're allowed inside.
And they finally agree to let him go in. He goes in within 5 minutes. He had thrown up. And I'm like, oh, gee, isn't that fun? Are you glad you got to go? And I hope Russ doesn't mind me saying that. But, yeah, it is extreme. It's certainly not an attraction that I would want to attempt.
You can't abuse people in this manner and say, well, they signed up for it, and think that will hold up in a court of law unless you're an idiot of the highest order.
What's going on now is legal torture.
Several participants even admitted to being beat up, while Russ denies it ever happening.
However, there are people that walk out of this manor scarred for life. Soldiers and Marines that have seen war and bloodshed are left quivering and crying the masses of humanity by the end. And people walk out of there in such a state of shock that they require immediate medical attention.
This is from an article in the Idaho Statesman. It says, "Stay away from McKamey. A friend of a friend did it the other night for part of a documentary, and it was criminal. Beat the crap out of him, left his face disfigured, and they stopped it halfway through because they choked him unconscious and they thought he was dead."
One guy had amnesia, his eye hurt. One guy had like a black eye.
It's like the Saw movie. You basically get tortured, but at least in Saw you get tortured because you're getting punished for what you did.
Over the weekend, we had Batman go check out the scariest house in the world. Alright, Batman, on your adventure, did you go inside the house?
No, I did not go in there. You don't pay me enough to go inside.
When we were in high school, there was an urban legend every Halloween about a haunted house.
Yeah.
We all fucking heard it.
Yeah,
hey,
every year.
My cousin went to a haunted house where you have to sign a waiver and they can touch you. That's not fucking true. No, it's true. And they like beat you up and they put their fingers like in your mouth and they tape you up and it's like they torture you. It's called McKamey Manor.
Yeah, McKameyManor.com. Looks like they got great accommodations. Yeah, looks like a pretty classy place.
Not one person out of the amount of time that McKamey Manor has been open, no one's made it through the entire 8 hours. 8 hours, 4 hours, I don't know. But no one's ever made it through.
Welcome everybody to Paranormal Connections. I am your host, Christina George, and for the next 2 hours we are going to be talking about extreme haunts, in particular, McKamey Manor.
There's rumors about us actually killing people, and one person, they said we killed one person. All right, that's not true. We've actually killed 7 people, and we've buried them at various parts at the various locations. In fact, if you look closely, you'll find several of their body parts within the scene.
Mr. McKamey says that he wants to set up his one-of-a-kind thrill shop right here in McLeansboro at this building at the corner of Cherry and Pearl Streets. But word of McKamey's move has some people in this town on edge, some saying they don't want him to come because what happens at McKamey Manor is borderline torture.
This raises the question of what is going on here. This place looked to be simulating some sort of kidnap and torture idea, but instead of it being for fun, it slowly became and is continuing to be more than just simulated torture, but actual torture.
They torture you inside that haunted house. It's not a haunted house.
Participants often leave covered in blood, commonly their own.
Well, there's a lot of psychological manipulation going around. You know, it's a lot of cult mentality.
It is October, the month of ghouls and goblins and Halloween and costumes and haunted houses. This is the month where people want to be afraid. Well, now I can say be afraid. Be very, very, very afraid.
Number 1, McKamey Manor. This San Diego attraction shouldn't even be in the same category as regular haunted house attractions.
When you market something like this, the way he did back in 2012, as kind of a fun, edgy haunted house, and then flip it on its side and basically turn it into legal torture and still market it the way you did back in 2012, that's when you have problems. That's when you have people falsely informed and coming to this place to be tortured. And the reason I say it's like the movie Hostel is because this guy is live streaming it to an unknown source down in Las Vegas. And if anybody knows anything about Las Vegas, you know that people will bet on absolutely anything they can down there. I mean, anything you can think of, and people will bet down there.
Visitors would also be kicked to the floor and forced to do things like lick the ground, eat disgusting foods and liquids off the floor, and even have actors stick their fingers down patrons' throats to induce vomiting.
I San Diego, Kalifornien, och ska besöka någonting som heter McKamey Manor.
It is considered the most extreme haunted house in the world. It's 21 and up. They say that it can last from 4 to 7 hours. What?
He also allows people to bet on what happens to people within this event as it is now. And depending on how far that these people get pushed, the bets increase.
This isn't your average haunted house. McKamey guarantees a 100% interactive experience.
You know, like I said about the Vegas thing, it's ridiculous how people are so naive to think that this guy is just doing this all for fun.
That's kind of disturbing. Sounds like they took a page out of the movie Hostel.
Perhaps one of the more shocking parts is that the experience goes on for about 5 to 8 hours, maybe hence why nobody's made it through to the end yet.
McKamey Manor is about to begin a 2,000-mile trek with its sights set on a new home. That's what brings McKamey to McLeansboro, Illinois. Population 3,000.
It's because Russ McKamey's name is attached to it. People are just blowing it all out of proportion.
Right in the middle, we find Patricia Irvin. She's offered up her building to be the site of the new McKamey Manor.
Don't have to come then either, but let other people come that want to enjoy it.
These terrifying images show what goes on inside the world's scariest haunted house, where visitors are tied up, forced into cages of snakes and drenched in faked blood. McKamey Manor.
Russ, he scares me a little. Russ is he's a very nice guy, and
He's amazing.
and all, but he's like that haunt to me was almost like terrorism.
They torture you inside that haunted house. It's not a haunted house. It's literally a place where people will kill you.
Well, last night we told you about a controversial thrill house that is set to open up in McLeansboro later this year. We do want to warn you the video you're about to see may be disturbing.
Number 1, McKamey Manor. This is the most extreme experience legally possible. Designed by eccentric millionaire Russ McKamey, this event aims to draw out the most deep, terrifying emotions from its victims.
I find out this year there's a haunted house in San Diego, that's been open for the past 14 years. And it's fucking true. All those stories are true.
The only way to get out of this thing is by physically or mentally breaking. And then I have to be there going, okay, they've had enough, pull the plug, that's it.
My partner, his nose was broken inside the manor and needed reconstructive surgery. I left with 80 bruises ranging from small to large. A goose knot the size of $50. At least 100 bites. Was told not roach bites, but a rash. I doubt that. And PTSD. I know the time I was dropped off at 2 p.m. and was given back to my sister at 4:45 p.m.
Now we're talking about McKamey Manor. It's a world-renowned haunted house. The owner calls it a custom horror film experience. Now this place is not moving into Southern Illinois without a little controversy, as you can imagine.
I will tell you what is happening at McKamey Manor. I have inside information. I've spoken to people that, have been through it. And what's happening is it's a fixed gambling ring, and, also people are being tortured.
Anyone that is not stupid can infer that something more is going on with this place just by hearing that there is a live stream to Vegas. Usually with Vegas, there is money. Put 2 and 2 together, and you spell disaster.
While some folks in town like the idea,
Yeah, it's definitely different.
As long as it will eventually bring more jobs to McLeansboro, I'm okay with it.
Definitely think it's fun to do and then be a lifetime experience.
I would probably do it, but I'd probably regret it.
hundreds have taken to social media for and against, some going as far as threatening to burn the building down.
This event does get live streamed to an unknown group of people in Las Vegas.
What the fuck? Like, it looks crazy. You see grown-ass men in this video. Talk about, please, let me out, please, please. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Russ, out here at McKamey Manor.
This house is for people to get in. You sign a waiver, and this waiver is basically you telling them I surrender to you completely. You can do whatever you want with me physically and mentally.
employees are there to scare the crap out of you. You could be bound, gagged, drenched in blood, and terrorized for 4 to 7 hours.
McKamey says he gets calls, emails, and hackers trying to stop this, threatening to kill them and blow up the house, among other things.
The police are involved, the FBI is involved now. I mean, these are just, it's crazy.
All guests are required to sign a waiver, and they have a health check to make sure that they can endure the stress of such an experience.
And you can look up videos on YouTube of it. It's gnarly. This is what I've learned, because I've been watching so much shit about this.
How many people have made it through this?
Actually, nobody has.
Really never been more scared in my life.
Well, it's noon tonight. The owner tells 10 News reporter Dan Haggerty that he is now getting death threats about this whole thing. And now, Dan, we understand the FBI may be involved.
And people are just like encouraging people to leave their careers and, you know, marriages to go through this thing. And it's a bunch of brainwashing.
We also brainwash as well. You know, I've been denying that for a long time, but it's obviously clear to everybody, because if you watch everybody's positive reviews, if you listen to Lindsay and Christina, it's clear that they're brainwashed, because nobody in their right mind would ever support McKamey Manor. So, yes, I'm coming clean tonight. Brainwashing is a big part of what we do.
McKamey Manor, which is located in San Diego, California. Some of you guys, or a lot of you guys, have probably heard about this place. It is supposed to be the most terrifying haunted place ever.
McKamey Manor es considerada la casa del terror número 1 en el mundo, tanto que es capaz de llevarte a un mundo de pesadillas desagradables, en donde la realidad y la ficción se fusionan. El recorrido de tortura psicológica es extremo.
Controversy when you move by the people who live near your new spot.
Probably. There's always yeah, all it takes is for them to look at the movies.
This is an extreme full-contact event. Participants have reported being threatened with power tools, forced to eat things, being waterboarded and suffocated. They've had tarantulas walking on their faces. There's even accounts of people being stuffed into clothes dryers.
That is also incredibly illegal. You're betting on essentially human torture.
The world's most exclusive haunted house, with 24,000 people on its waiting list.
But I ain't gonna lie though, they show women and shit getting pulled down into fucking coffins and people tying people up and shit. Like what? Who thought of this shit?
There's no safe word. You don't tell us. There's no safe word.
That's scary.
This experience is supposed to scare you to death.
They expose you to raw sewage. They make you eat people's vomit. You know, they force you to vomit. There's force feeding. They there's used tampons and shit. They do all sorts of stuff. And that's just barely scratching the surface, let me tell you.
No one has ever completed the ordeal in its entirety, with Marines and adrenaline junkies failing to make it through the mansion.
One of the kind tour.
Now you have people lined up from all over the world. How long's the waiting list?
About 27,000 people right now.
Now I'm seeing after videos of people coming out going, don't go here. It's not worth it. They will fuck you up.
The McKamey Manor house is for extreme horror lovers only who wish to experience what true terror or gross out torture feels like. There is no safe word, and they only pull the plug when medically necessary.
Now, back in October, Ross said that after the Mario brothers couldn't make it through, that he would be toning this experience down. It has been 3 months and I still see people coming out of this thing injured.
Actors who were paid to induce pain on the patrons, as well as other humiliating methods of torture.
There is no other place in the world that you're going to live an 8-hour personalized horror movie.
Voluntarily put themselves into these situations. They actually have to have a note from their doctor saying their heart can handle the terror.
Participants leave this experience as shivering emotional wrecks, covered in blood and tears. Some even pass out.
This place is unbelievably popular. They have a waiting list of 24,000 people.
Due to its cinematic nature, founder Russ McKamey makes sure no two visits are the same.
You can torture me, you can force feed me, you can hit me, you can make me all black and blue all over my body, and I still cannot do anything about it. I cannot sue you because I basically signed this and you guys have the right to do anything.
The experience has been known to make grown men cry.
That shit's crazy. Like, I hope people, like, I don't know if I'll ever go to this shit, and even if I was in Los Angeles or wherever the hell it's at, I don't even know if I'd do it, man, because, like, that shit looks fucked up. It looks like some Hostel shit. You remember the movie Hostel? It looked like that.
Nothing about this sounds like a good time to me, but it does for a lot of other people. There's 24,000 people on the waiting list. Yes, they have a waiting list.
Supposedly supposed to be like really, really terrifying. This haunted house is absolutely bizarre.
This house plays with people's fears of claustrophobia, with tight spaces and corridors, people's fears of spiders, with restrained victims having up to or even more than 4 tarantulas crawling over their faces, people's fears of clowns, and just about anything else you could think of.
It's the McKamey Manor in San Diego, California. They have a 24,000 people wait list for them to get tortured. Oh, Joker dude, I would not go in there. It's very bad and spooky.
This man should be sued for the aggressive and violent behavior that he's using on his victims, and I do not call these people clients, and I don't call them customers, because they're getting treated very badly.
Despite the threats, Russ McKamey says he's set on moving his terrifying attraction to Southern Illinois.
There's already a national movement against Russ. There's a YouTube channel called Exposing McKamey Manor.
The following post is from Christy L. from Lake Jackson, Texas. She is the girlfriend of the individual named Jess who attended McKamey Manor. She writes, "My friend was beaten in the face to the point of losing consciousness for over 10 minutes. He has a broken nose, cheeks, and torn sinus cavity. He will be having surgery tomorrow to repair his sinus and broken bones. This occurred over the weekend. He was finally let out after passing out several times. But the final blow that knocked him out, I think, made the workers scared. They might have really gone too far, when he would not come around after several minutes of unconsciousness."
At the end of the manor, when people walk out of the house, you can see the participants are physically injured with numerous cuts, scrapes, burns, bite marks, bruises, blood everywhere.
I mean, he had guys in hoods and stuff, and now I did go through it. I saw some of it, and at one point I said, "Oh, I'll go through it. Just don't hurt me." And Russ goes, which surprised me. Russ goes, "No, man, you can't go through it."
So does it cost extra if you have a heart attack? If they do terrify you to that extent, then hey, at least you can't say it was false advertising.
The interactive experience has been described as a real-life horror movie.
Everything about this just stinks to high heaven, and I don't like it.
McKamey does it purely for sadistic pleasure, not profit, which is unsettling from the get-go.
And if there are haunted houses that do use this kind of horror, if that's his excuse for existing, then he has to know that they do not take it to such an extreme limit of masochism and sadism, and he actually likes to see people getting tortured, and no experiment whatsoever should exhibit such type of torture on human beings and even animals.
This haunted house in San Diego, California, called McKamey Manor, is reported to be the scariest haunted house in the entire world.
McKamey Manor.
This is deemed one of the most extreme haunted houses in America.
I mean, can it be that bad? Like where grown-ass men look like they fucking crying and shit?
There is no safe word. You cannot leave. And supposedly the 2014 version is so intense that it has made Marines weep. Marines.
We need to stop this. Just, if I can find the link, I'll see if I can get you guys to it to be able to sign up to stop the McKamey Manor.
The experience isn't very loved by everyone who goes there. Even the most masochist or sadistic people, they still don't love the experience because it takes it to another level.
This extreme haunt tops this list because it can use scare tactics that are off limits to professional attractions. It also can't be said that what goes on in this place is safe.
Ubicado en San Diego, California, Estados Unidos, McKamey Manor no es una casa del terror cualquiera, dejando una vara alta a todas las demás atracciones que existen.
No, Russ is a unique attraction. I hope that I hope they don't shut him down, because let me tell you, it is wild, and the film crew, chose to put not get into too much of that and put a pretty positive spin on it. But yeah, they were kind of like, wow. This is crazy.
I do believe that at Transworld he said something to the effect of you would need a passport to go through this year.
A passport? Now that's interesting.
All guests are required to sign a waiver before entering. They also have to do a health check on you to make sure that you are okay to deal with all the stress and the terrifying things that are going to come at you.
Only 2 people can go in at a time. Yeah. And it lasts from 2 to 7 hours. Holy, what the fuck?
I don't like that someone is able to get away with this. I don't like how they're able to manipulate the media in order to work to their advantage, where they can just say, hey, it's just all fun and games.
They say that we gas people. That's true, we do. We actually, if you ask Amy Mulligan, she'll come clean and she'll let you know that we gassed her in the coffin. So, and that's why I think she's the way she is. So we just had too large of a dose of the gas, and I can't say what the gas is, but I'm telling you, if you get too much of it in there, it's not good, and eventually you're going to just kind of, blow away to nothing. So yes, gassing, of course.
Get it out, spit it out, spit it out.
This time of year, the line between ghoulish fun and real harm can be hard to define, especially at San Diego's infamous McKamey Manor.
I can't do it.
The home in quiet Rancho Penasquitos is consistently ranked as one of the nation's most extreme haunted houses. Only those who have experienced the manor know for sure how much of the chilling footage on YouTube is real, and how much is smoke and mirrors. East County resident Amy Milligan told the San Diego Union-Tribune that she found herself being held underwater, trapped in a situation more dangerous than she expected when she signed a waiver.
And I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I need to go home. I can't. Let me out. Let me out. And they're like, you're not done. And I was like, I'm done. I need to get out. Shoved my head back in the water. And I was like, they're not going to let me out. I'm going to die in here.
She said she left the manor covered in bruises and cockroach bites, with emotional scars that have not yet fully healed.
McKamey Manor rips you to pieces, and they don't care. And it's something that's not good. And I can't. I just needed to get it off my chest. And
what Milligan told us doesn't line up with the positive review she gave McKamey Manor after her tour of the haunt.
I never felt that I was being tortured. Like I said, I treated it as a game.
She said she gave the review so that McKamey Manor would post footage of her tour, so the world would know what happened. Proprietor Russ McKamey told us Milligan was never held against her will, that her life was never in danger, that she was fully aware of what she was getting into when she signed a waiver, and that she voluntarily gave his manor a positive review.
Are you aware that McKamey Manor is a staged, made-up, acted show produced for your entertainment?
Yes.
Okay.
For the San Diego Union-Tribune, I'm Morgan Cook, Watchdog.
It is obvious that there is no plan to actually look out for the safety and welfare of the people who go through this place. It doesn't matter if they sign a waiver. You still need to treat these people with some dignity.
And no one has been able to make it through the whole experience.
when you're being tortured, essentially, and you sign an NDA to say what you didn't or what you saw, to not to tell anybody what you saw in there, that it's a really fucked up thing to do.
I don't know, it feels like something really bad could happen. Like, say someone does have a heart attack and dies, everyone will just think it's part of the show.
Number 1, McKamey Manor, location withheld. Once billed as the haunt with a 24,000-person waiting list, visits to this formerly San Diego-based manor are strictly by reservation only.
It's fixed gambling. Russ usually has shows on Saturdays, and he has, that group, he always talks about this group that he streams to in Vegas that bets on the tortures.
You guys want to meet the man behind McKamey Manor?
No.
Yes. Well, you're gonna.
Living your own horror movie. Where else can you do that? Because any place else that attempts that, it's not going to feel real, because it's not real. This is real.
This is for ages 21 and older. There's a waiver as usual, but this demented attraction dials it up a notch with no safe word, and the experience goes for 4 to 7 hours.
We get death threats on a daily basis. Serious death threats.
People get tortured really badly. They get hit really badly. They get tortured really badly.
Would hire mostly larger, more intimidating actors who would be capable of easily picking up, tying, or shoving patrons.
Oh, come on, sidekick. It's not that bad. People inside get tortured, like for real. Tortured. Extreme haunted houses!
There's a place called McKamey Manor that's in San Diego.
Ooh, sounds fun. What kind of stuff do they have there? Oh my God! People are being murdered!
They tie you down and you live a horror movie experience where they like duct tape your mouth, pour blood on you, and you actually have to be 21.
I call that Saturday night.
These actors terrorize their victims, I guess you could say, for hours.
I don't know if he thought I'd have a heart attack or what, but it was very intense.
Ross himself says in his videos, you can watch them right now, says, I don't show you everything that happens here. So, that's a bunch of bullshit.
Anybody who has even the smallest amount of common sense can put all these pieces together and realize that this is a real-life version of the movie Hostel.
What's happening is they're betting against Russ. And on Saturdays, before Russ goes to pick up the people that are going through the haunt, he has a little video chat with the people in Vegas. And he tells them a little bit about the people they're going to go through. And so they decide that they're going to bet on who they think is going to make it longest.
Because we have Russ McKamey via Skype right this minute. Welcome to the show.
Hey. One of the gals that came out of that, she was shredded. She was like having like an adult breakdown or something. She was in tears. They couldn't interview her. She kind of recovered after a while. But I caught Russ talking in the back. He said, now don't because the camera's there, don't duck them underwater for more than a second or two. I'm like, so you do it for longer than that, normal?
Waterboarding. Now, my God, of course we waterboard. We waterboard not because it's just part of the show. I waterboard because I absolutely love it. It's my hobby. I try to waterboard somebody at least once a day. And normally I just grab somebody off the street and I waterboard them because that's what I do. So, of course we're going to waterboard you inside. I mean, what good, respectable haunt would not water, that's just crazy. Of course we're waterboarding somebody.
Simulated waterboarding, whatever it is, that is like the most heinous form of torture I can think to ever do to somebody, other than, some really fucked up shit that I'm not going to talk about right now.
It's the world's most extreme haunted house. Sounds more sick than scary, right?
Those who have been courageous or crazy enough to embark on one of these lengthy tours have been gagged with rotten food, drenched in blood, and tortured barely within the confines of the law.
So once the haunt starts, Russ and his little crew beats the shit out of that person. So, until they're, about to die. So Russ has to take them out, and then Russ wins the money. That is what's happening in McKamey Manor.
Participants are covered in blood, forced to eat disgusting things, threatened with power tools, stuffed in a clothes dryer, submerged in water, physically assaulted, forced to drink urine, and even given an unwanted haircut.
They put guests through sheer terror, force-feeding them, riding them, shouting in their faces, shutting them in small boxes, and more.
This man, I think, Russ McKamey, if he's trying to show us that he's very creative with what he's doing and the haunted house, there are a lot of haunted houses that people enter, but no one takes it to this level. I mean, 8 hours in a haunted house and completely surrender to you, and you do not stop unless they are mentally or physically unstable, and they should just completely withdraw. That's the only time you take these people out. Is this correct?
Show your support to save the life of the next person who is tricked into going into this place and may never come out because of Russ's negligence.
A new theme and location every year. There is no telling what to expect.
You really don't want to do this.
Well, this might not be your cup of tea, but 27,000 people want a drink of it. That's how many people are on the wait list for this extreme haunt. I'm Giacomo Luca from McLeansboro, live, local, late-breaking Heartland News.